What's going on, everybody? This is Purple Spartan here, and welcome to something a little bit different. Now, I've said this in multiple videos. Me and my friends, we love playing a card game called Card Fight Vanguard. And this is our way of relaxing between everything we do and basically getting out of our daily lives of working nonstop to do something fun and productive. This is a clan called Angel Feathers, and this is my favorite clan from the whole thing from way back when it first got revealed back when I was in high school. Man, I feel old. This is actually the clan I wanted to play, but back then it was really expensive. Now it's still kind of pricey, but it's more affordable because I'm actually working. So, let's get straight into the deck profile. As far as protect markers, you can literally just run whatever you want. It's literally, you got protect 1, protect 2. Run as many as you want of each. There's usually no limit. So there's always that, which is nice. To start things off, our starter, you can run any of the 2 starters that you have for Angels. But I run Aroid Raesh, which is really, really cool. I actually really like the art. It's really cute. So there's always that. Alright, so with our grade 1s, we start things off with 4 multi-medicinal angels. Now, it's a very powerful card, and its ability is when you take damage, or when a damage is placed into your damage zone, you get to place this card onto bottom of your deck and draw 2, but you discard 1. So if you guys do play Yu-Gi-Oh, it's basically a pot of greed, but it recycles itself, so that's very handy. Next up, we have Underlying Celestial Medicial, I believe. I am always really bad at pronouncing angels' names, but we got 2 of them, and for the cost of 1 counterblast, you could swap out a card from your damage zone into your hand. It's actually extremely good when you have key pieces into your damage zone that you need to get into your hand. Angels do that a lot, so get used to seeing that. Next up, we have 2 Ascutolite Angels. It's a very powerful card that centers around our grade 3 Malaka Mech. When placed, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Find 1 Malaka Mech, put that card into your hand, then put that card into soul. Now, it's very handy for keeping your soul beefy because Malaka Mech will definitely be using a lot of it. A few of these cards do Soul Blast, so there's always that. I then run 2 Aroid Lamido. The whole reason behind me running 2 of them is for the sheer fact that it stops your opponent from using Sentinels when placed behind the Vanguard. So that means they cannot PG it, which is very key because with the columns that you can get, it can get very high up there. And if you don't want to, put these guys in, you can always put in 1 more of each of the other ones. I'm constantly swapping these guys out just to try different consistencies. So you can always look into that as well. And for our final grade 1, the Big Kahuna Heartful Intendant. A very, very key card in Angels. It basically says whenever you take a damage or whenever a card is placed into your opponent's damage zone, it gains 5k. So if you take a damage, then it immediately gets boosted to 13. If your opponent takes the damage, it gets boosted to 13. So it's good as a booster or as an attacker if you have to write it your first turn, which I do recommend. So going into our grade 2s now, we have 4 Rear Impetus Celestial Emeralds. The reason I'm running this card, it's a very old angel, but the reason I'm running it is because it goes in so handy with our helpful intendants here. Now, if you do end up writing this grade 1, and you write this on top, its effect is when placed, Vanguard or Rearguard circle, Soul Blast 1. call a card from your damage zone to your rear guard circle, and then put a card from your deck face down into damaged. So, just a little quick interaction here. If you have this, if you chose to ride this as your grade 1, which if you can, go for it, and then you ride this as your grade 2, you can choose to prioritize this effect to bring this into your damage to then resummon it using its own effect. And then using this, you can get rid of your grade 0 in order to bring something else out of your damage zone. So, just like that, on your second ride, you already have a good starting little chain going. A good little ride chain. Our next grade 2 is going to be Freezing Grantor. Now, this is another card that utilizes Soul Blast when placed, but its main effect is its Counter Blast. For the cost of 1 Counter Blast, you can it basically takes your opponent's damage and gets 5k per, which is super helpful. And then our final grade 2 for the deck is Adroid Zarian. Now this I could see being a staple for the foreseeable future for Angel Feathers, just for its sheer abilities. Its continuous is when a card is placed in your opponent's damage zone, you get plus 10k. Its second ability is when attacks, target one of your opponent's rear guards, place that card into damage zone, and then they heal 1. So whenever this card swings, you get to first target your opponent's rear guard, put that card into damage zone. Its ability activates, bringing it up to a 19k booster, which is, or what am I saying, 19k booster, a 19k attacker, which is super strong. The only downside is at the end of the turn that card attacked, you have to retire it, so you have to send it to your drop zone. But that is perfectly fine, because our big boy, our big boss monster of the deck, Arc Rider Malakamek, is coming to save the day. And we have 4 of these bad boys. Now it has 2 different effects depending on when it is placed. If it is placed while your opponent has a grade 2, you get to Counterblast 2 to deal a damage, which, as we know, damage is key in this game. If it is placed when your opponent has a grade 3, which if you're going second, it most likely will, you get to Counterblast 2 to heal 1. So it's essentially a Counterblast 1, which is super good. Its second ability for that Soul Blast, which is why Soul is somewhat important in this deck, you get to Soul Blast 1 to revive 3 of your fallen allies from your drop zone to your side of the field, which is why I'm saying if you have to retire this, it's perfectly fine, because you could just bring it back with Malakamek's effect. Bring back 3 rear guards into up to 3, and then your entire front row gets plus 5k, which is super strong. Now, to add a little bit of sustainability to this deck and to make sure we can constantly heal, I'm running 4 Crimson Impact Metatrons, which lets us constantly heal our damage zone for the cost of 2 counter blasts. And then just for more damage, I'm running 1 Aesthetic Visual Semisapil, I believe that's how you pronounce it. But when it attacks, for the cost of discarding a card from your hand, your opponent cannot call Sentinel, so they cannot PG this card. And it gets 10k. So it is super good for that late game push. And that is the whole reason that I run just 1. It's good for that late game. It's horrible if it's your first ride, though. So now let's just quickly just talk about our trigger lineup. Our trigger lineup, we're just going to get down and dirty. We got our 4 Hotshot Celestial. We got 4 of our Pinky Denturas for crits. We got 4 of our Battle Cupid No-CL PG draws. And then we got 4 of our Sunny Smile Angels. So, that is our quick and dirty trigger lineup. With that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button down below, comment and subscribe for more content like this, if you want to see more, my buddy Adam actually wants to do his Bermuda Triangle deck. And to be honest, it's probably one of the toughest matchups I've had personally. It's entire Force 1 base, which actually kind of hurts Protect because of how much damage it could pump out. If you thought this deck could pump out a lot of damage, wait till you see his. So, thank you all so much, and until next time, stay frosty, everyone. Peace!